Better to be until.
Aaron,
Yep.
Nice game, great game.
Thank you.
Outside of the scoring, the 24 points, in your experience, how much of what you do that drawing fouls when you're cutting and drawing charges and all these stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, how much of that do you think is coachable versus innate?
I think I'd just like to give credit to like all the coaches I've had like growing up, and just the competitive spirit really to just try to win the game in as many ways as you can. Really, like just try to get that edge over your opponent. And it sometimes it's scoring, sometimes it's a rebound, sometimes it's a steal, but you know, just any way you can to try and get that edge. Just little things I try to do, whether it shows up on the box score or not. So I just give credit to all the coaches I've had, just teaching me those little things.
And I'm not sure how much Al Jefferson video, have you ever watched it? You know Al Jefferson, the old post player?
Yeah.
So there was a running joke that no matter what, he'd always get to shoot over his left shoulder. No matter what he'd do, people would know it's coming, and he'd still shoot it. With you, it feels like you're always going to get to your left hand on the drive, especially today. Is that something that you're surprised the defense doesn't adjust to, or you just know that you're going to get to your left hand?
Honestly, I don't really even think about it that much. I just try to, you know, just be aggressive and just try to make the right play. You know, tonight was a night where, you know, the lanes were a little bit open. I just try to take advantage of, you know, what they were giving me and just try to be aggressive.
Speaking of being aggressive, was that part of the game plan coming into tonight, to kind of focus on you in the first quarter, or did it just come naturally in the game? I think you put up maybe 10 points at least in the first quarter.
No, it wasn't necessarily the game plan. I think we just wanted to come out there and establish our presence early, offensively and defensively, and just, you know, make them feel our presence. And I think we were able to do that, and we were able to sustain it for the whole game. So,
yep.
Yeah.
And how did it feel with fans in the building tonight?
It was great. It was great. The energy was great. It was a little different at first because, you know, you get used to playing with the silence, but it was nice. It was nice to have the energy and the crowd back in the arena for sure.
When did you get back from Dominican? Like, what's the timeline between when you arrived and when going onto the court today?
I landed at midnight.
Like this midnight?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you went on to like drop a season high just casually. Do you find that international basketball kind of helped you in some sort of sense? Like, is it tougher in international basketball in some ways than others? And then that just kind of like, oh, well, it was like this there. When we translate that competitiveness to here, and like all of a sudden you have like a crazy game.
I think the main difference between the international game and the NBA game is the defensive 3 seconds. I think in the international game there's less space, there's less time, so every possession means more. I think in the NBA game it's a lot more open, there's a lot more space because, you know, you can't just have somebody in the lane just clogging it up. So I think that helps. You can be a little bit more aggressive to try to, you know, get downhill and really make the defense collapse. So I think that was something that, you know, I want to try to take advantage of.
Makes sense. And also, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but the international games feels, at least when I'm watching as a viewer, like more physical.
Oh, for sure. I mean, both games are physical. I think it just depends on, you know, the flow of the game and you know how it's going. But I mean, yeah, physicality is definitely something that is a staple in the international game, and it's physical here in the G League too. So, I mean, that's just the way it is.